Welcome to this episode of Locked In. This is going to be my unboxing and initial thoughts on the RideFarr Carbon Aero Bolt-On B2. This is an aero attachment for your bike, gravel, road, mountain even, and maybe more. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking into what actually comes with this box, what I initially think about it, because this is something I never thought I'd really want, but honestly, I can kind of see the use for it. And RideFarr has really been innovating some really cool new products in this emerging gravel market and actually come up with stuff that I haven't seen before. And this is definitely one of those. So let's get to the unboxing. This is going to be the box that's going to come in. As you can see here, this is your RideFarr bar extension, and they say it's good for road or mountain. Now what this essentially is a carbon fiber aero bolt-on piece for your bike. This is going to mount on top of your handlebars, and it is carbon fiber safe, since a lot of TT style bars are not meant to actually clamp onto carbon bars. So if you have some, you're not able to, so you'd have to have an alloy bar. So if you've already upgraded your bike, that's kind of annoying. You just spend a bunch of money on some carbon bars, and now you can't even clip anything onto them. But this is safe for that. And what you're gonna get in the box is simply the mount itself, your hardware that's gonna go underneath the stem, your bolts, and your instruction guide. Now, this is rated at 98 grams, including the hardware. So it is gonna only add a minimal amount of weight for potentially a lot of aero gains. Now what this is designed for basically is for you to grab onto it like this, hold onto the bars, tuck in, and have something to kind of rest against. Now they do offer a pad extension for this to look like a little more of a traditional TT style setup. I'll be doing a separate review on actually installing this, as well as my full final review on, do you need this? Is this the next greatest thing to add to any of the bikes that you currently own? But here are my initial thoughts. As you can see here, this is a nice matte finish. It doesn't have any texture to it, but it isn't as slippery as I thought it may be. The only thing I can think of is I do sweat a lot, and so I'm worried that my palms may basically cause a lot of moisture here on the tops where my hands might want to slip if I'm not wearing gloves, because I typically only wear gloves when it's cold, or if I'm worried about getting them hurt if I'm doing a single track section or something like that where I want some added hand protection. So I am initially worried about that. They do sell basically what looks like a grip tape little section here to add some texture. I may make my own just because I didn't think about adding that. I did see it after this bar head showed up. You can see here, this does allow you a round mount, so you can mount a light to it. They say GPS and LED mount. I really think this is going to be mounted for a light, and I would mount your GPS either on top of your stem with a rubber mount or using a stem mounted Garmin or computer mount that replaces a stem spacer above your stem. I think that'll be the cleanest solution. And you can see on their website and their Instagram on different ways that people have set this up. But here I have an adjustable light here. This is going to be just your generic LED light mount. So let's just quickly add this in and see how this does, because it does have a little bit of a flat section near the bottom here. So let's see if it does conform nicely when tightened all the way up. And obviously my full review, I'll be going through this basically set up in different ways to see if any of these items do slip when riding off-road. But again, we're just initially unboxing this. So as you can see here, that actually has a pretty clean, nice look to it. With this style of mount, it did conform pretty well. Again, depending on the light that you use, it's typically gonna have a full rubber strap that'll obviously conform around this kind of unique shape here, but it does mount up pretty easy and seems pretty solid, at least here on the table. Now this is the part I was initially worried about, seeing if this solution would work, looking at the unique shape on here, because it was kind of hard to tell online. My Lesign light that I typically use for night rides, which does have a GoPro mount on the bottom of it because I use a K-edge front mount, will not work on this because, as you can see here, there is a weird little gap underneath, and I don't know actually if RideFarr recommends this. It does seem pretty solid, to be honest, but I wouldn't want to clamp something down like this to this carbon section. I would definitely put a piece of 3M clear bra tape on here to protect it, but this is really what I was worried about, is adding this kind of setup. I would have to switch back to the standard strap style mount, which I don't like as much because this is a lot easier to transfer this bike between bikes or different mounts. So this is one of the downfalls of it not being a fully round bar. Now my initial thoughts are if they can make this a full, let's say a 26.0 as far as the handlebar goes, most of these clamps will have a shim that you could either sell with it or separately to basically size down a standard clamp into that size section so that you fill up this gap and get full tension on the unit itself. But that's my initial quick look at this. So I hope you guys like this style of video. I want to basically show you guys more products more often And the reason why I want to do this video is so that you can comment below on things you want me to address in the full review. That's really why I make these quick videos, is so that you can ask me your questions that I may or may not think of when I come to install this and do the full-blown review, so I can address any questions you guys have. And that's why I create this content for you on a weekly basis. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you turn notifications on so you can see all my weekly and cycling content I produce for this channel, as well as if you want to support the channel and have my input and do a one-on-one bicycle or parts or component consultation, I do offer that at the higher Pateron levels, and I do have a link for that in the description below. If you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, links are in the description as well. And thanks for watching another episode of Locked In.